My name is Stephen Hernandez, and I am the Executive Director of the Legislature's Nonpartisan Commission on Women, Children, Seniors, Equity, and Opportunity. The Commission administers the statewide Trafficking in Persons Council through its appointed chair, State Representative Jillian Gilchrist, who also joins us today. We are also honored to be joined by State Representative Robin Porter and Charles Grady, Public Affairs Specialist at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Today, we are releasing a public video series entitled Connecticut's Corridors of Corruption, Trafficking and Exploitation of Our Most Vulnerable, as the state explores ways to promote public awareness and prevention of sex trafficking and other forms of human trafficking, and to provide for ongoing monitoring of efforts to combat trafficking in the state of Connecticut and beyond. We are proud to join state, federal, and local advocates and law enforcement to end the scourge of human trafficking in the state of Connecticut. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It is critical that we do everything we can to demystify human trafficking and highlight the lasting trauma it inflicts on individuals and communities. The series, Corridors of Corruption, will first give the public an unvarnished and compelling view into the life of one human trafficking survivor. Sadly, her story is shocking, but typical. In the second episode, advocates share resources to help your community address human trafficking from liberation to independence. We are so honored to have with us today one of the premier experts in the world of human trafficking here in the state of Connecticut, and that is our state representative, chair of the Trafficking in Persons Council, Jillian Gilchrist. Welcome, Jillian.
Thank you so much, Steve. Good to see you, Representative Porter. Thank you to the Commission, to federal and local advocates and law enforcement for putting out this amazing video, Corridors of Corruption, 2 parts. So I am Jillian Gilchrist. I chair the Trafficking in Persons Council. The Trafficking in Persons Council is created in state statute so that Connecticut can better understand and address human trafficking. Over the years that I've had the honor of serving as chair, we've done a number of things, including expand training in the state of Connecticut to a number of entities and organizations so that community providers and our law enforcement can understand what human trafficking is so that we can prevent and address it. We've also updated the felony charge in the state of Connecticut. It came to our attention years ago that the charge as written wasn't being used. So now we do have better law enforcement tools to be able to go after traffickers. And we've also increased the age of victims. So there was a cultural shift in our state of understanding that those under the age of 18 are victims of human trafficking and are not willing participants in this abhorrent behavior. But I think we do learn best from experience, and that's why I think this Corridors of Corruption is so powerful. The first video that does have the experience of a survivor is very raw, it's very intense, but it does an amazing job of illustrating the many ways that trafficking can impact a victim's life, both psychologically, but also in very interesting ways that if you didn't hear this testimony, you might not know, such as the debt that this survivor experienced as a result of her victimization from her trafficker, the struggle to get jobs later on in life. And so I would encourage all folks to watch this first video because it really does give an in-depth look at the psychological trauma and manipulation that traffickers use on their victims. And then the second video just does an amazing job of highlighting the tremendous work going on in the state of Connecticut by a number of advocacy groups who work with both youth and adult victims of human trafficking. And I smile and pause when I say that because one of the biggest rewards of serving as the chair of the Trafficking in Persons Council is getting to meet the amazing people who do direct service with this population. We are a team, they are a team, and they dedicate their lives to helping these victims recover and turn their life around and have a new start. And so we are really fortunate in the state of Connecticut to have such amazing people dedicate their lives to this work. And so again, Thank you for the opportunity to highlight these things. My final piece would be, because I would be remiss not to mention some public policy we're working on this year. The Trafficking in Persons Council is looking to expand the council to more members. As our understanding of what human trafficking is increases year by year, we're adding new partners who can help us to address and prevent it. Establishing an affirmative defense for youth who are potential victims of human trafficking so that they can receive services while their proceedings are going forward. And then expanding our vacatur law in the state of Connecticut, which again, when you watch video one, could certainly tie into the experience of that survivor. So currently in the state of Connecticut, if someone has been the victim of human trafficking and they realize that later in life, they can have their prostitution charges removed. This would expand it to all charges associated with human trafficking, leaving the discretion to the judge. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you so much, Representative Gilchrist. And thank you also, not only for your leadership on the Trafficking in Persons Council, but also for your leadership together with State Representative Robin Porter on leading the working group on the illegal practice of massage, what we call massage parlors, for the advancement of illegal trafficking of persons in the illegal massage industry. So thank you for that, Jillian. And with that, I now introduce State Representative Robin Porter, who is also the chair of the Labor Committee for the Connecticut State Legislature. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Stephen. Honored to be here today with you all and excited that the Corridors of Corruption are finally going to make its debut and that the public will have access to really look into the depths of what's going on. It's a new arena for me, and I tell you, it has been quite interesting and telling to witness the experience and to hear from the young lady that will be in the video today. I think that, you know, the work that we've been able to do in partnership with our law enforcement people, with the FBI and our good brother, Charles Grady, and the advocates, has been a move in the right direction. And I so appreciate this opportunity that you're presenting to highlight this in a way that is going to be real and raw. And I just want people to be prepared for what they're going to see, what they're going to hear. And my call would be, as they're educated and inspired, I hope that there's a response to this call to action to actually help us get this work done. The good representative's already gone over what will be in the videos and what we've done. My interest has been in the labor piece of this specifically, because it does have an impact on our work and how people are able to make a living and survive. And there's a lot of coercion that goes into the people that get caught up in this illegal, illicit part of activities. And these things are happening right under our nose, right in our own community. And I think that this is going to be a great opportunity and tool for the public and those that watch this and hear this to understand that there are specific things that we can look for. There are telltale signs. There are ways that we can actually get involved and respond to what we're seeing and what's happening. I want to specifically applaud what we're going to see and just salute the young lady that was very, just very courageous to come forward and share this story with us. I don't think we realize a lot of things that Representative Gilchrist did talk about some of what was revealed in her story, but I think the thing that really sticks with me the most is her struggle to, after the abuse, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, how she talked about her struggle to have a loving relationship with her children. So this is not just something that impacts the survivor or the current victim. I want us to realize that this is a family problem, this is a community problem, and that we all are affected, whether it be directly or indirectly. So just really grateful to the partnership, grateful to you, Mr. Hernandez, for what you always do and bringing this kind of information forward in a way that resonates. And I do believe that this is going to resonate with people in ways that will matter and help us as we move forward in making some progress. in this illicit market. And giving people what you said earlier, you know, not just liberation, but independence to be, you know, who they are and who they were destined to be prior to getting caught in this atrocious web that I hope to one day see just totally demolished and destroyed. So thank you again for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to be included in this. And I look forward to what we will have to do past what we're doing here today, putting our efforts to real work and making it manifest in a way that matters to the people who are struggling to get out of this illicit industry. So thank you again, and thank you, Jillian, for the work that you continue to do and how you have been a leader for years in this around this issue. So I just want to thank you as well for leading on this and for including me. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Representative Porter. I do want to note some of the resources and really advocates that you're going to be seeing in that second video are really, as you described, Jillian and Robin, that first line of defense. And they include the underground, they include the Salvation Army, Love 146, the Institute for Refugees and Immigrants, and Amira. Those are just but a few of the resources that are located here in the state of Connecticut. So this two-part series will be released on our website for the commission, and also on our YouTube location, which will be provided to the press after this broadcast. We are now joined by Charlie Grady of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Welcome, Charlie.
Hey, how are you, Steve?
Good to see you. We've just had the chair of the Trafficking in Persons Council, Representative Jillian Gilchrist, present the work of the Trafficking in Persons Council, and also State Representative Robin Porter speak to not only the dynamics of the two-part series, but also our expanding view, ever-expanding view of how it is that the trafficking in persons impacts people in the state of Connecticut and beyond. If you could share with us some of the work that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is doing and how it is that you're partnering with state of Connecticut's law enforcement to root out trafficking where it may be.
So thank you, Steve. The idea of human trafficking in a suburban community is one of the key factors in educating and bringing awareness to the residents of Connecticut. It has long been determined by people that human trafficking, that definition refers to individuals being sort of kidnapped and taken away to a foreign land and sold into slavery. There are so many different definitions of what human trafficking actually is, and that's one of the things that this two-day series highlights. I think overall, the FBI's mission to protect and serve all of its residents, especially the vulnerable, we couldn't pick a topic more appropriate to focus our energy on than the degradation of individuals who are vulnerable. And so we have teamed up, long-standing history of teaming up with state, local, and federal partners to combat the actual operations of human trafficking. And again, I often stress that it's not the Hollywood version of human trafficking. And so oftentimes people are witness to situations that are actually situations involving human trafficking, and they're just not aware of what to look for. So one of the things about this series is they get to hear firsthand from individual who's been a victim, and they also get to a little insight on how the process works, how those traffickers find their victims, how those traffickers profit, and how they abuse their victims, right in plain sight oftentimes. And so the importance of coming together for an awareness campaign like this on human trafficking is immeasurable. I think ultimately, there's going to be a lot of people that tune into this series and walk away feeling a lot more empowered at situational awareness. And that's our goal at the FBI, to make sure that the public is aware what to look for and how to report it.
Thank you so much, Charlie. And just as a closing reminder, the video the first part of the two-part series is truly unvarnished, but it is absolutely critically important information shared with us by a survivor. And it is so critical that we understand that this is firsthand information that we receive from someone who, through the assistance of the network, was able to not only extricate herself from a situation of trafficking, but also live to tell the tale. So without anything further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. And I'd like to now open up the opportunity for anyone from the media who may have questions for either our experts, our legislators, or our federal partners. Thank you all. Without seeing any questions, I see none in the chat, and I see none of our attending press corps have unlocked their screens. So I will assume that they have received all the information they need. We will be releasing a press release with this information where you can find the two-part series along with contact information as necessary. I want to again thank our state leaders, our chair of the Trafficking in Persons Council, for all of the work that you're doing throughout this session, including to promote changes and improvements to our protections for people in the state, our labor chair for partnering with us and understanding that this is a dynamic issue of trafficking. And of course, I thank our federal partners, because without you, the state would really be on its own when it comes to an issue that spans our borders, but really does impact all of our people within the state. So again, I'd like to thank you for the work that you do, and I continue working with you on other issues, including abuse of seniors and other issues that we've discussed. So thank you all so much, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.